Hey, motherfuckers. It is Tuesday, June 6th, 3:07 p.m. Summer is here. I don't have shit to do now. So here I am. I've been out of town for the last week. Otherwise, I would have had one up last week. I know. I mentioned in the episode before this, hey, I'm going to stop making excuses and get one of these out every week. But I fucking suck as a human being. So, one listener, I apologize for that. I just spilled a fucking energy drink all over my computer desk. And now I have to go buy another one. Because I need caffeine. Like, really bad. I spent last weekend at a bachelor party. It wasn't really at a bachelor party. Because it was like a... Oh, God damn it. 1 second. I'm not even going to fucking pause this. I'll literally be back in 10 seconds. There. My dog wanted out of my room at the worst possible time. But, yeah. One of my best friends is getting married. And I spent the weekend in Albuquerque, and we went to bars, and were wildly irresponsible. It was pretty fun. And now this weekend I have to do a 6-hour drive so I can go participate in a wedding. Which I've never liked weddings. I don't know. They're too formal. I don't like formal things. There's expectations and all other nonsense. You have to behave at weddings, or at least at the beginning, during this bullshit religious ceremony. That's the awful part. I'm sure the reception or what after wedding drinking thing will be mildly amusing. But that's when you all get to separate into your own little groups, and you don't have to deal with the uptight people, and you find the ones where you can actually say things around. I think my personality changes wildly depending on who I'm around at the time, because I don't like serious people at all. Fucking lighten up. We should... This is the first time I've recorded this podcast without liquor, except for that episode where I was recording in a school. I was not drunk then. I mean, my job would be way more fun if I could drink during it. But I don't know. I think I'm a more entertaining person after like 2 drinks-ish. I've probably talked about this before, but at that point where I've had a small amount of liquor, there's a sweet spot you have to hit. Like 1 or 2 and you're good. More than that, you're a mess. But at that point, I kind of enter like a flow state, and I don't have to think about what I'm saying. It just comes out. And I'm much more charming that way. It'd probably be better, or it probably is better for me to record this podcast under that level of influence. But here I am. So I get to go to a wedding, tolerate polite behavior for an hour, and then spend the rest of it doing what the fuck ever. I don't think I like these formal events because all people talk about is like jobs and work most of the time. Hey, what are you doing with your life? And maybe I'd enjoy that more if I was actually doing something with my life, but I don't have jack shit going for me. So I just kind of tell them, yeah, I'm in a job that I don't really like anymore. I can't afford to go to school, and I'm here. Being interrogated by you about my life choices. You can fuck off. And my internet just went down. How am I going to upload this? It better come up by the time I'm done recording this. I'm getting so upset with Comcast. Their coverage has been fucking garbage lately. Their coverage. Cell phones are destroying our culture, people. I just called internet service coverage. But I don't know. Maybe I'll put it on my phone and upload it if I have to. Who knows? I'm paying for fucking SoundCloud. I did not know that they had a 5 track limit, and I hit that. And what if you want to go back and listen to these few people who actually give a shit? So I'm paying $15 a month so you can listen to my podcasts and I can keep uploading more of them. So I should probably put out more content and get my money's worth. And maybe slightly entertain you at that time. I don't think nobody's emailed me yet. I mean, I mentioned it like 8 times in the last one, but maybe I'm just not interesting enough to answer your questions. Who knows? My sound levels look off. I hope this one records alright. The microphone I have has been giving me trouble. I should probably get a new one. I mean, this one was like recommended by professional podcast people, and I've seen it used in video podcasts, but this one's really inconsistent. I have a Blue Snowball, and sometimes it's fucking awesome, and other times it's dog shit. So who knows? I should get like a Yeti or something cool. I've been out of work for like almost a week now, and I've been having a ball. I have this weird issue where when I'm employed or when I have obligations that I have to attend to, I don't really enjoy my free time as much because all I can think about is fulfilling those obligations. Like Saturday fucking Sunday might as well not even be a weekend day for me, because I wake up and I look at my watch or whatever and see, oh, I have 14 hours until I have to go to bed. God damn it. And then I can't enjoy the things that I'm doing because I'm constantly thinking about going to work the next day, or I don't know, if I have like a meeting or some sort of social obligation I have to attend to, it's just constantly on my mind and I can't focus or concentrate on anything. It's a really terrible thought process, and I hope to one day free my mind of freaking out and worrying about everything all the time. I mean, I'm pretty good. I've been happy lately, probably just because I don't have to go to work. That's like when I'm at my best. Or, I don't know, maybe if I found a job that I really enjoyed, I would want to do that. Or I would stop worrying about my lack of free time, because I feel like if you have a job that you enjoy or that fulfills some sort of purpose in your life, maybe, just maybe, and this is my hope, that it feels like free time. It feels like something you want to put effort into rather than just a paycheck. 'Cause I don't even give a fuck about money. I mean, if I had money, my life would be changed. I could move wherever I wanted, see people that I haven't seen in forever. And I don't feel motivated by all of it, which is a bullshit excuse. Motivation is for fucking assholes. Discipline is better than motivation, and I have none of that for most things. I seem to use it all up and then just do irresponsible shit for a long time. But yeah, with this week off, I've been on a comic book binge, 'cause I don't know. I don't dabble in different hobbies. I just dive balls deep, face first, and go completely off the deep end into one hobby at a time, and then I just leave it alone for forever. Like, I've always really liked comic books, but I haven't actually read one in like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And then this past weekend, I read all of Old Man Logan, Preacher, currently reading The Boys, which is awesome. I'm really digging a lot of this Garth Ennis work. It is, his style seems to be well-written stories with great characters that is just filled with depravity, and he knows how to make some sick shit really touching. Which I read Preacher a long time ago, not the whole thing, but I dabbled in it. I got some free issues of it during one of those comic book day events. And I really liked it. And this time I got to actually read the whole thing. And then I binge-watched the AMC show Preacher. It was really good. I liked it. I mean, that series has lots of terrible, depraved things in it. It's just filled to the brim with violence and sex. I'm not going to get into any specific spoilers because fuck you guys. You should go read Preacher. Or at least check out the show if the violence and sex does not appeal to you. If that's not your bag, baby, that's fine. But I'm really curious as to how they will fit all of that depravity in the comic book into a cable TV show, premium cable TV show. I mean, it's not quite HBO, but it's there. And I think they're going to have to change a lot, but I think that's okay. Or maybe just don't show a lot of the things that happen, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of censorship, and I believe creators should be able to make whatever the fuck they want without compromise. You don't see that very often. I think that's why people enjoy auteur directors like Tarantino. He's like the most famous example, I guess. And then I don't know how often you see it in comic books. I don't really follow the industry in that, but in video games, the only auteur person I can even think of is probably Hideo Kojima. And Metal Gear is better for that. I'm really excited to see what he works on after. Because it's nice to see somebody being able to fulfill a creative vision without marketing people stepping in or without censors stepping in, which I think that will happen a lot in AMC's Preacher. But if it can maintain the quality of the first season, by all means, let's keep it going. And The Boys is pretty cool. That's the other Garth Ennis work that I'm reading right now. I'm only about halfway through it, but it seems similar to Preacher in tone, but, you know, touching character work mixed with ultra-violence and depraved sex. And then, I think Seth Rogen is making a show on that as well. He's producing the Preacher show. But The Boys should be on Cinemax, which I don't even know. Has there ever been a good show on Cinemax? I don't follow cable TV very often. I'm not that much of a TV guy. I'll look for the good shows and then watch them online somewhere. But I absolutely hate waiting weeks upon weeks and enduring annoying cliffhangers. I want to see the story and I want to drink it in one thing. I would rather binge watch a show for 8 hours than set aside an hour every week to keep up with it. The only shows I'll do that with is like Fargo and Breaking Bad, I guess. I'm trying to think about it. I used to do it for The Walking Dead, but they started chopping that show up in annoying ways to where you wouldn't, or each episode would focus on different characters and then it would end on a cliffhanger, as they always do. But then you would have to wait like 4 weeks for the show to pick back up to those characters that you were actually interested in. So fuck it, I'm gonna wait and watch the whole thing. I have not been playing video games lately, like at all. But I've really enjoyed what I've played recently. I still want to do a full-on Breath of the Wild cast when I finish that, which I'm nearing the end. That game is long as fuck. Well, it doesn't even have to be long as fuck. I'll get into that when I get to it, but maybe I'll do that before I have to go to this wedding this weekend to make up for missing a podcast, because I could probably knock that out in an afternoon. Watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space the other day. I was talking to some friends about horror movies and creative works and about the real lack of innovation in these things. And I don't think people can be innovative anymore. Everything's been done. And if it hasn't been done, odds are it's just a variation on another thing. Like back to Breath of the Wild. I was talking to a friend about it, and he said, it's just Far Cry with a Zelda skin. And while there's some truth in that statement, I think that is simplifying it to the point of... It's simplifying it to the point of that statement being absolutely irrelevant. So... I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, he was talking about how he was tired of horror movies because they're not doing things he hasn't seen anymore. So I recommended him some, and he dismissed those as well because for some reason he's not into human psychopath characters, which I enjoy if it's done well. I'm a huge horror fan, and I do not like Friday the 13th, or I'm not the biggest Halloween guy. Movies where it's just a faceless killer killing people are boring unless The movie has a good tone, which, like I said, it's doing something slightly different and interesting with things that have already done. I think all the creativity left in things is just going to be people playing with tropes and subverting them. Which I hope not. I don't know. I can't think of anything coming out in the future that I really want to see. And if you look at even if you look at all of your favorite series, they all have origins in somewhere else. Star Wars is just like a hero's journey. The Witcher is almost just Star Wars, but with Witchers instead of Jedi. All superheroes are variations on Batman and Superman, because they're the best. I'm still reading Batman comics. Everything's been done. I read a book a while back. I can't forget the name, or I can't remember the name of it. Oh my gosh. Tripping over my words again. I can't remember the name of that book, but it essentially had the same theory, and the purpose of the book was to teach you how to steal creatively, and by that they meant finding inspiration in things that have been done and putting twists on them. And it wasn't like telling you to just straight up plagiarize things, but it was about how people see things differently and interpret things differently. And maybe you watch Alien and another guy watches Alien, and those two guys go off and make different movies that are inspired by the parts of Alien that they really dug, and you get wildly different results from things like that. But I don't know. I look for different things in different stories and mediums, and oftentimes, like, I have to be in the mood for something to enjoy it, which I don't think is all that weird or different or uncommon, but like, I don't know, I'm really interested in a BioShock game or whatever because I enjoyed the other ones that I played, and a new one comes out, and I'm not going to play it unless I feel like playing a shooter at that time. Oh, wait. There are very few things that I need to have now. I think a few of those things would be like The Witcher. I could always play a Witcher game when it first came out. Like, I love Batman, and I didn't play Arkham Knight till a week ago. The new Zelda, I've always got the new Zelda games when they come out, but those games feel like a treat because, similar to The Witcher, I guess, they're not common. There's nothing that is like Zelda. Except this new one in Far Cry, apparently. Fuck you, friend who said that. But you only get one of those like once every 6 years. I probably will never buy a Call of Duty game again because those come out annually, and I used to buy them to play the multiplayer with my friends, and they just feel disposable now. Like whenever you play a game like Zelda, it feels special. It feels like something you can talk about down the line. Whereas Call of Duty does not now. It's a way to kill 20 minutes here and there, which if that's your thing, sure. But I'd rather kill my 20 minutes in other ways. I don't usually like hobbies where... I don't know, I see a lot of people praising video games in the sense that, yeah, you can play it for 20 minutes and then put it down and go do something else. But that's not what I want out of anything. I want investments. I don't want to be casual in anything I do, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I haven't fully decided. I guess music is the only thing that's good for that. Because I listen to music like a music fan, not to talk shit about the ways you guys choose to listen to music. But like, let's use Pink Floyd as an example. You're not supposed to listen to just one song on Dark Side of the Moon. You're supposed to listen to the whole goddamn thing. It is... Dark Side of the Moon should be judged as a whole, not with individual songs. And I love me some pop songs, but I'm not going to go tell you, yeah, you haven't experienced Lady Gaga or fucking Lana Del Rey. I've been listening to a lot of her lately. You don't have to experience a Lana Del Rey album in its full extent to appreciate it. You just enjoy the songs one at a time. That's the only thing I can think of where it doesn't require an investment, and I like it. I guess some TV shows too. And I really like short stories because I feel like you can... I don't think short stories have to be developed as full novels, so with a short story you can start an idea and then just play with it for a couple pages and then be done. And some things work better that way. Because maybe it doesn't hold up to scrutiny, but if you just take a tiny slice of it, it's fantastic. It's like a hooker versus a girlfriend. But I don't know what I'm going to do with my summer. I intend on spending a week or so just doing whatever the fuck I want, and then I probably need to get a summer job or bite the bullet and fucking move somewhere and start a new life. Because Farmington sucks. Still not happy here. The only thing to do of value anyway is hang out in my room and read comic books. There's no interesting social events here. We have 2 bars, which I like going to bars and all, but going out and drinking every night is not what I want to do. I couldn't afford it if I wanted to either. I would rather drink at home with a comic book. And maybe I've just had shit luck in Farmington because, I don't know, you can go to an Albuquerque bar and then talk to people about artistic things, which I enjoy. But every time I've been here, people talk about fucking dirt bikes and work, and that's it. I don't want to talk shit about small town people, but holy fuck, guys. Be capable of having a conversation on more than one thing. And that sounds hypocritical of me now because I'm sitting here saying, I only want to talk about art. That's not true. Just have something interesting to say. A unique, not even unique. Unique is dead. I contradict myself from start to finish. That's just me as a person. But, I don't know. Sitting here looking at news stuff. I'm really tired of people getting offended and upset about things. I'm not going to say I'm anti-PC culture because most of those guys seem like they only want you to stop being a cunt, which is fine. Don't be cunty towards people. But I always see like celebrities and comedians doing silly shit, and then everybody gives a fuck. Tiger Woods and his DUI. Nobody cares. Kathy Griffin and her Donald Trump head. First of all, who the fuck is Kathy Griffin? I don't even know. But I do like seeing comedians offend people. I mean, I think it's a comedian's duty to push the line of what is acceptable, and I think a good comedian makes you question yourself or makes you think about things a little differently. I really don't like a lot of the basic ass, the Dane Cooks of the world, the fucking Kevin Harts that just kind of talk about relationships and tell stories. And I mean, tell stories if you've got them, but they have to be good stories. These are all basic stories, and they're funny in the way of like, it's funny because it's true, or I can relate to that. No. I like the Bert Kreischers of the world, the dudes that have traveled everywhere and seen a bunch of things, and they have some actual unique stories. They've seen some shit and gotten in some situations. Like Joey Diaz, he's another one of the story comics that I like. I tend to like the more experimental ones, though. The Bill Hicks, George Carlin. Some of Louis C.K.'s stuff used to be like that. And then he had kids, which his kid comedy is pretty good still, but I miss the old stuff. Although I guess he's kind of limited. Although, maybe I'm wrong, because he still tours and travels and does a bunch of stuff, but all of his stand-up's now about his kids instead of the weird situations he's been in, or making you question societal norms. I'm just ranting, I don't even know. It's the first time I've been slightly nervous while recording one of these. So this is probably not my best episode. See, I'm going to a wedding this weekend. Got to put out more creative stuff. I've been doing a lot of writing. And I'm think about opening up a blog or something and just publishing all that. I've worked on a book that I have just about finished. It's like over 100 pages, and it's not supposed to be very long, but I can't fucking find it right now. I wrote it in a physical, leather-bound book, and I would take it somewhere and then use it and then go home. And I don't think I've lost it. I'm pretty sure I've got it somewhere. And I need to find that and type it all out and get it online. I've also been writing short stories, some horror stuff. If you want to help me edit those, hit me up. RyansWorldPodcast@gmail.com. I'll send you copies, man. Yep, this summer I need to find a job or start my life over somewhere, because fuck it. I usually have money saved for the summer, but due to 2 catastrophic events totaling me over $1,000, I am probably not going to make it all the way through without some form of income, which sucks, but shit happens. Whatever. And this wedding is expensive. I still have to buy like a gift. I had to buy wedding clothes. Like, fuck, man. Probably why I'm not too enthused about it. I'm the most fucking stingy asshole on the planet about that, and they're like, hey, come spend a bunch of money so I can get married. And I love the guy. He's my best friend. And I still don't want to do that. I don't know if I will ever get married, but if I do, well, honestly, I'll probably just let the girl pick everything with that, because I don't give a fuck. But I don't want to burden my friends with things, you know. I would like to plan out a budget, and if they want my best men or whatever, groomsmen in suits, then I'll fucking pay for that, because you shouldn't have to. It's my thing, not yours. You shouldn't have to waste money on my endeavors. Which that's the way I feel about a lot of things. I have one friend who's always like wanting to have potlucks, and it's like, fuck that. I don't want to have a potluck. That's expensive. I dropped money on that a few weeks ago. It's like, hey, let's have a potluck. So I asked him what he wanted me to bring, and then ended up bringing like $40 in food, which, I mean, it was delicious, and I had a blast cooking it, but that's $40 fucking dollars. I would have rather like eaten beforehand, fed myself on like $1.50, and then showed up perfectly good for the rest of the night. And usually when I invite people over, I don't ask them to bring things. If I'm like, hey, let's have a barbecue, I buy all the shit myself and treat my friends to things. And I don't think I'm right. I don't think there's a right or a wrong there. It's just preference. But I just really don't like unexpectedly being asked to spend money. Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's not. I'd want to save that money and spend it on trips or video games or like nights out. Maybe I enjoy shit like that when I'm being spontaneous, but when other people do it, it pisses me off. I don't want to say all other people, because if it's like, hey, let's go eat dinner somewhere, or let's go get a beer. It's like, sure, the expectation is there that I'm going to pay for my shit, they're going to pay for their shit, we're good because we're in public, we're buying a beer, it's separate tabs, you know. But don't invite me to your shit and then expect me to pay for stuff. I'm a grumpy asshole. But I hope this wedding is fun, and I'll get to go to Las Cruces. I've never been there. I've been wanting to travel the world, but not the world. I don't even know. I just want to see more stuff, because I really don't like where I'm at now. So this will be fun, although from what I'm told by other people, it's basically just going to be me driving to a Farmington number 2. I don't even know if I'm driving. I'm going with, like, family and a friend. I probably won't do a lot of driving, because I fucking hate driving. And they don't, which I feel bad about sometimes. If asked, I would drive, but I'm never going to volunteer to drive anywhere. It just makes me nervous, and I'm nervous enough as it is all the time. Wish that would go away. But until I find the job this summer, I think I'm going to spend my time doing creative stuff, reading, and working on myself. I have actual time, and I don't have work to worry about, so I can go to the gym a lot, and my diet's been great for a long time. I just got to add in the exercise portion again. Get myself looking fit and lose enough weight to where I'll be viewed as a human being again. It sucks being fat. But anyway, guys, I'm out of things to talk about. Unless you want to hear me ramble forever again. So, I will see you guys in a few days. I'm going to try to get out a Zelda cast for you to listen to. Send me emails and ask me dumb questions or advice questions or anything at ryansworldpodcast@gmail.com. I'll probably respond, unless it's an absolutely terrible question. I mean, my standards for questions aren't the highest, but if it's not a good question, at least make it an entertaining question, and that is the best question. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Try to be happy.